So tonight you came out, and the first step to the solution is being here tonight and getting educated on the issue. And the issue right now that we're facing is education funding. The second step is to learn the process and how you can make a difference, and that's where PTA can come in and provide some guidance on that. And that is what I have done in the past. Is we have PTA provides a couple different opportunities where you can learn how to advocate and be the voice for your child. And so I want to start with learning how to talk to a legislator and basically understand that first you need to learn who are the decision makers that you need to talk to. You know that your principal is very aware of the issue. You now have 2 of your school board members who represent constituents in this area in this room tonight. So they now know that you're informed. You have Scott Sweeney, who represents this area, and you have David Banks, who represents this area. You should develop relationships with your school board members so that they get to know you. They will take your calls, they will respond to your emails, and they will listen to your concerns. It is very, very important that you develop that relationship, because when you go to ask them for something, you want to have developed that relationship so that they will be listening to you and understand what you bring to the table. You also need to develop the relationship with your state legislators. And one of them is in the room tonight, I believe, hiding in the back. Senator Hill, can you raise your hand back there? Senator Hill now has a child in this school. And so he, just like you, has a vested interest in what will happen to his child's education. What will happen when the class sizes are so big that his child is not getting this, the quality education that he has come to expect out of a Cobb County school and out of Walton. So get to know your legislator. This senator, by the way, understand, and to really be effective, you need to know which senators really can make a difference, or which representatives can really make a difference. So you want to know what committees they're on. When they're on the Appropriations Committee, we're on their Education Committee. This senator, our senator, happens to be the chair of the Finance Committee. So he's very well respected downtown. So you want to get to know your senator. We also have another representative. Yeah, we have many that are different parts of this area of our neighborhoods or precincts that feed into Walton have different representation. So get to know who represents you and hold them accountable. Watch to see how they vote, listens to what they have to say. Guys, this is an election year. And the governor has come out very vocally that he will be making education an issue. What is he going to do for education? So you need to listen to what he's going to say. You need to listen to what others are going to say. You just need to be aware of what your representative and senators are doing. So when you want to talk to them, how hard is it? Well, let me tell you that you're talking to people who are real people. They're not scary people. They're not. The first time I encountered Senator Isaacson was recycling at Dickerson. Okay, he has to go to the grocery store. When he's in town, he does the same things you do. He goes to church. He goes to the grocery store. He recycles his newspapers. Or when they had the recycling at Dickerson. So these are real people, and you need to develop that relationship. You need to, when you call down to the Capitol, it's not an intimidating process. Don't let it be an intimidating process. It's literally pick up the phone. Find their number, pick up the phone. You can Google it. It's very easy to go on the legislative website and call them and say, I am a constituent and I would like to talk to the representative. You won't get the representative when you call down there. You'll get the person who is his or her assistant, and ask them to call you back. Then when you start talking to them, tell them your concerns. They've got the data. You don't need to recite the data to them. What you need to tell them is the personal impact on your child. Make it personal. Make them understand the true impact of what a larger class size means, so that you can, build that story for them. Make them accountable. That's what your legislator wants, actually. They want to know when an issue is impacting their constituents, they want to know right up front and how it impacts them, so that when you ask them to do something and they have to go and vote, they can say, this is why I'm voting that way. I've gotten 100 phone calls from my constituents saying that this is a big issue, and education funding is a big issue. It is the biggest issue. So I will tell you to, and work together. Have a voice, but the bigger the voice, the more people involved, the more powerful that coalition is that can make a difference. And don't be shy about getting the media involved. You have a reporter in this room tonight who's taking notes and will be probably writing about this tomorrow. She's going to notice how many people are in this room. Next time you have a meeting, bring 3 people with you so that she can't find a place to sit. Not that I have anything against it, but you want her to know and to report that this issue is so big it was standing room only. That's how you make a difference. You get a lot of different voices involved. So I will tell you that the issues that we're talking about tonight are not going to go away. There isn't a quick fix. You heard the numbers from both of the principal and from Claire. So you need to understand that this is a long-term problem, and it will take a long-term drive to raise the awareness, raise the issue, and understand that education has to be a priority, and learn how to talk effectively to the people who are going to make the decisions, your school board members, your elected officials down at the Capitol. And I'm sure that after this is over that the Senator will be happy to talk to any one of you. I think we're going to take questions. I'd rather than belabor this, because a lot of this is common sense. We can provide information about how to have an effective conversation. I will tell you, whenever you talk to a legislator, make it personal, be polite, be respectful of their time, and thank them, because they are doing some things right down there, and so you want to thank them for having spent the time to hear your, and then make your ask. What are you specifically asking for? And that's where we have to come up with a very concise answer of what are we looking for. And right now it's how do we effectively fund education in this state. The QB formula was created in the late 1980s. There have been, I believe, 7 blue ribbon task forces looking at how to modify that formula. That formula still funds textbooks and transportation and many other things at the same rate that it funded it in 1988. It does. The only inflation that's actually built into that QB formula is when teachers are given a raise, basically. So it's a very, very complex process, and so you have to be involved in listening. They're starting to nibble at it. They've changed like the funding ratios for school counselors and some added school nurses, and so they're making modifications around the edges of that formula, but they have not actually tackled the big problem of that, and that is something that they're supposed to be tackling. Pay attention to what they talk about and what the impact will be.